It's always funny that when we're young, we think that the first thing that we need to do as soon as we get some money, as soon as we have some freedom, is move out. We think that it's going to be easier living out on our own than staying at home following the rules. And life is always going to teach you that you know a lot less than you think you know.
You can't say that.
Is he allowed to say
I'll
that?
say it louder. I said in the video about 6ix9ine where his stuff was being auctioned off by the IRS. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down in the show notes. But I said in that video that past performance is not an indicator of future success. What you did yesterday should be a stepping stone to what you're going to do in the future, but it doesn't always work out that way. And there's a video with a creator. It says the state of your finances is never permanent.
Your finances is not forever. Okay, money comes in cycles. Money comes and goes. One day you could have thousands of dollars in your bank account, then something happens and you have no money in your bank account. It's basically a vicious cycle to the point where I currently don't necessarily believe in financial freedom. We just rely on the grace of God to get us through every single day in regards to our finances. So I started working when I was 16 years old.
I'm going to disagree with what she said. Right up front, you have to keep God first. I pray every day, multiple times a day. So that's not the point I'm disagreeing with her on. But there is a such thing as financial freedom. There is a such thing as saving, investing your money, and being diligent. With that being said, of course, you can run into tragedy. You can have something happen where you lose a huge sum of money. You could be saving for years. And then all of a sudden, you have some medical emergency or you just have a series of unfortunate events. And then your money dwindles down. But that is the risk of living. Nothing is promised. Just because you were able to make money yesterday, that doesn't mean that you're going to continue to be able to make as much money or any money going into the future. Things are forever changing, and that's why you have to be diligent with the decisions that you make in your life in order to accumulate the money and what you're doing to keep it.
Of course, my first paycheck that I ever got, I started working at Chuck E. Cheese. I think it was $181, and I thought that I was rich, of course, because I was 16 years old. I had no bills, so all the money was mine. So I was able to basically do whatever I wanted with the money. So I got a second job working at McDonald's, and so at one point I had 3 jobs. I was working at McDonald's, Marshall's, and Chuck E. Cheese, and I saved up $2,000 over the summer after I graduated from high school to move from Atlanta, where I was living, where I was born and raised, to Los Angeles. Now, after I got to Los Angeles, I realized that $2,000 is about $2 in Los Angeles currency. So I rented up money in about 3 weeks, or I think I got to like $500, and I was like, wow, I really have no money, because my plan was to get a job as a waitress, like working at Hooters. I thought it was going to be cute. Praise God, that did not work out. But yeah, so I ended up getting a job working at McDonald's. So for the first year of me living in Los Angeles, from August of 2018 to August of 2019, I was dead broke. I was living paycheck to paycheck, trying to pay for a room for rent that was $1,300. It was a mess. But then
she said she ended up saving up $2,000, which, congratulations to her. She was hustling. She was working 3 jobs. She said McDonald's, Marshall's, and Chuck E. Cheese. There's adults. She said she was doing that when she was 16, but there are adults that are not doing that. It doesn't matter if they're 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. They will be in a struggling situation and they still won't do that. So kudos to her for having to hustle and having to grind at such a young age to work 3 jobs and attempt to move out. She tried to do it. It didn't work out for her. But, sometimes you have to take a gamble. You have to take an educated risk, though. Not just going balls to the wall and trying to do anything that your heart and mind desires. You got to make calculated risk. She didn't know that she was making an uncalculated risk, because she thought that $2,000 was a lot of money.
Along with working 2 jobs, a stimulus check, and my tax refund, to having $5,000 in my bank account. So after having about $5,000 in my bank account, I decided, you know what, I want a car and I want to learn how to drive, because I was taking the train everywhere and I had to be to work at 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and taking the train at 5 o'clock in the morning in Los Angeles as a single young girl living by myself was not the move. And so I decided I'm gonna get a car. And within about a year of me having a car, and also about a year of me just like living and paying off my debts and stuff like that, that $5,000 was gone, and I was back to living off of credit cards, living paycheck to paycheck. On top of that,
this is where a lot of people make a mistake, myself included. Of course, I made money mistakes. I'm going to continue to make money mistakes. That is just a fact of life. She said she was able to accumulate through stimulus checks and working and saving. She was able to accumulate $5,000. And the first thing she did was run out and go get a car because it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe, quote unquote, for her to take the train to LA. But it was safe all the time before you had the car. There was no issue before. But, as your money grows, you have a lifestyle creep. And she tricked herself into thinking that she should go and empty out her bank account on a car, not thinking about the gas, not thinking about the maintenance, all of these things that are additional because, once again, she moved out when she was young. She's learning for the first time how to drive and how to maintain the car, maintain herself and her living situation. That's not an anomaly. A lot of people make that mistake. I made that mistake. My first car, 2002 Volvo S60, I ran it into the ground. So I've been there. I've made that mistake as well. You're not alone. I'm going to go ahead and link her video in the show notes so you can check it out. I don't want to, review her full content. You guys should go over there if you want to see the rest. But I thought it was an interesting conversation about money and about the way that we process and make decisions. If you like the video, subscribe to me back here for the next conversation. And if you made some money mistakes, let the world know. This is the place for discourse. Till next time. Peace.